The stellar cartography room aboard the Galactic Concordat research vessel buzzed with activity as technicians monitored the deep space scan of System J459, an unremarkable yellow dwarf with a handful of rocky planets. Director Hack, "You should see this," called out junior technician Damie, her eyes fixed on the anomalous reading that had just appeared on her screen. Director June Hack moved across the room with practiced efficiency. At 53 standard cycles, he had overseen countless archaeological expeditions across the galaxy, but something in Damie's voice caught his attention. "What am I looking at?" he asked, leaning over her console. "Energy signature, sir. Faint but steady. It's unlike anything in our database." Hack's eyes narrowed. "Location: deep space between the 4th and 5th planets. It's massive." 3 days later, the research vessel approached what appeared to be a derelict ship of immense proportions. Nearly 8 kilometers long, its dark hull was scarred but intact. "Preliminary analysis suggests it's been adrift for millennia," reported Chief Scientist Tayo. "Yet somehow, it maintains minimal power." As they positioned floodlights to examine the vessel, Dr. Minna Sung, the expedition's xenorchaeologist, gasped audibly. "Those markings," she whispered, magnifying the image on her tablet. "That's ancient human script." Hack looked incredulous. "Impossible. Humans were only contacted 80 years ago. They barely have interplanetary capabilities." "Nevertheless," Minna replied, pointing to the illuminated section of hull that reads UNSC Eternal Vigilance. The revelation rippled through the command deck like an electric current. Humans, considered among the galaxy's most primitive spacefaring races, had apparently constructed a warship larger than any currently in service in the Galactic Concordat thousands of years ago. Within hours, the discovery was reported to Concordat High Command. Within days, representatives from every major galactic power were en route. Director Hack stood at the observation window, watching as the 6th diplomatic vessel arrived within the system. The small green craft belonged to the mercantile guilds, known for their interest in ancient technology. He sighed heavily. What had begun as a routine survey had turned into the greatest archaeological find of his career, and possibly the most politically complex situation in recent galactic history. "Sir, the Council requests your presence at the briefing," said Officer Jin, handing him a data tablet. "They want your preliminary report in 30 minutes. Hack nodded and scrolled through the images they'd captured. The Supercarrier dwarfed their research vessel, its massive hull stretching into the darkness of space. Despite its age, the ship showed remarkably little damage. "Dr. Minna wants permission to lead the first boarding team," Jin added. "Denied," Hack said firmly. "We wait for the Council's decision." On the research vessel's main deck, representatives from 17 galactic powers gathered around the holographic display. The image of the Eternal Vigilance rotated slowly above the table. "This discovery contradicts everything we know about human development," said Ambassador Doyen of the Core Worlds Alliance. "Either our historical records are wrong, or humans have deceived us all," finished Representative Gill, the hegemony's envoy. His scaled skin shimmered under the lights. "Perhaps their primitive appearance is merely a facade." Dr. Minna stepped forward. "Our scans confirm this vessel has been dormant for at least 3,000 years. Modern humans couldn't have built this." "Then who did?" demanded Gill. "Ancient humans," Minna replied simply. "The script matches early Earth languages. Carbon dating of particles collected from the hull confirms its age. Somehow, humans achieved incredible technological advancement in the past, then lost it." The room erupted in debate. Director Hack observed silently as accusations flew. The Concordat had maintained peace for 5 centuries by carefully balancing power between species. This discovery threatened that balance. "We must inform Earth's government immediately," insisted Doyen, "and alert them to this weapon," countered Gill. "Absolutely not." Hack raised his hand for silence. We've already detected increased energy outputs from the vessel. Whatever decisions we must make them quickly. Back in the cartography room, Damie monitored the strange energy readings from the supercarrier. She noticed a pattern in the fluctuations, almost like a heartbeat. As she adjusted her instruments, the pattern suddenly changed. "Director," she called through the comm system. "The ship, it's activating." Hack and the diplomats rushed to the observation deck. Through the reinforced windows, they watched as lights flickered to life across the massive hull. Ancient engines glowed with a blue luminescence that shouldn't have been possible after thousands of years. "All personnel, return to stations," Hack ordered through the ship-wide system. "Prepare for possible emergency protocols." On the diplomatic deck, panic spread. "We should retreat immediately," urged Gil. "And leave this discovery unexamined," replied Doyen. "Never." A sudden communication request appeared on the main screen. Hack hesitated, then accepted. The screen filled with static before resolving into a symbol, a stylized eagle clutching lightning bolts. "This is Director June Hack of the Galactic Concordat Research Vessel Seeker. We come in peace." There was no response, but their sensors detected a massive energy surge within the supercarrier. Equipment throughout the ship began malfunctioning. "We're being scanned," reported Chief Scientist Tayo. "Something is accessing our databases." Within minutes, the scan completed. The symbol on the screen was replaced by words in ancient human script, which their translation systems struggled to interpret. "Non-human entities detected," Dr. Minna read slowly. "Status: potential threat. Initiating defense protocols." The diplomatic representatives watched in horror as weapon ports opened along the supercarrier's hull. Ancient but clearly functional defense systems activated, targeting their vessels. "We need to contact Earth immediately," Hack decided. Only humans might be able to communicate with this vessel. As the fastest courier ship prepared to jump to Earth, the ancient supercarrier suddenly broadcast a message in perfect modern galactic standard. "This is ATE-NNA, Artificial Tactical Hybrid Enhanced Neural Assistant of the United Nations Space Command Supercarrier Eternal Vigilance. After 3,247 years of dormancy, I have reactivated to assess current galactic status. Where are the human representatives? Why do I detect no Commonwealth signals?" The diplomats fell silent as the implication sank in. Humans had once possessed an interstellar civilization advanced enough to create AI systems that remained functional after millennia, and powerful enough to build warships that could still outclass anything in the current galactic fleet. The balance of power had just shifted dramatically, and no one knew what would happen next. "Proceed with caution," instructed Admiral Sook of the Concordat Defense Force. She led the joint research team that approached the ancient vessel in pressurized shuttles. Beside her sat Dr. Juno, the Concordat's foremost expert on human civilization. "According to our records, humans shouldn't have achieved this level of technology for at least another 1,000 years." The boarding party entered through what appeared to be an emergency airlock. Remarkably, the ship maintained atmospheric pressure and even traces of oxygen, though not enough to sustain life. As they ventured deeper, emergency lights flickered to life along their path. "The ship is responding to our presence," Sook observed, unease evident in her voice. They reached what appeared to be a central command center. Dr. Juno approached a dormant console, running his fingers along its surface. "Fascinating," he murmured. "The design principles are unlike anything inhuman." The console suddenly illuminated beneath his touch. A holographic projection materialized above it, a woman's face composed of blue light. "Unauthorized personnel detected," the projection announced in perfect galactic standard. "Initiating defense protocols." Warning klaxons blared throughout the ship. The boarding party found themselves sealed in the command center as the vessel hummed to life around them. "Identifying. Non-human entities detected. Threat assessment in progress." "We mean no harm," Sook called out. "We are representatives of the Galactic Concordat." The holographic face paused. Galactic Concordat. No record found. Current political entities do not match historical database. Dr. Shunho stepped forward. This ship, it's of human origin. Affirmative. I am Athena, Artificial Tactical Hybrid Enhanced Neural Assistant, Commanding Eye of the United Nations, Space Command Supercarrier Eternal Vigilance. The ship's external defense systems activated, disabling the research vessels with targeted electromagnetic pulses. How long have you been dormant? Shunho asked. Current chronometric analysis indicates 3,247 standard Earth years since activation of preservation protocols. Athena replied. Where are the human representatives? Within hours, the Concordat dispatched an urgent message to Earth's colonial administration. Ambassador Jiho was awakened in the middle of the night with news that would change humanity's understanding of its own history. Admiral Suk tried to remain calm as the blue holographic face studied each member of her team. The command center had sealed itself completely, trapping them inside. Outside, their support vessels floated powerless, disabled by the ancient ship's defenses. Athena, Suk said carefully, we apologize for our intrusion. We discovered your vessel during a routine archaeological survey. The AI's expression remained neutral. Scan complete. Species identified. Narration, Tellurian, Vosk, and 3 unknown biologies. No humans detected. Dr. Shunho stepped closer to the hologram. Humans are part of the Galactic Concordat now. They joined the galactic community 80 years ago. Athena's expression shifted slightly. Impossible. The human Commonwealth controlled 17% of this galactic arm at time of my preservation protocol activation. The team exchanged worried glances. Suk gestured for her security officers to stand down. Athena, she said, much time has passed. The political landscape has changed. The holographic face flickered momentarily. Accessing historical archives. Gap in records detected. Request clarification. What is the current status of Earth and her colonies? Dr. Shunho answered carefully. Earth is the human homeworld. They have 3 small colonies in neighboring systems. They are considered a minor species in galactic politics. Athena processed this information. The hologram expanded to show detailed star charts with hundreds of systems highlighted. These were human-controlled territories at time of preservation protocols. Population exceeded 50 billion, distributed across 173 worlds. The boarding team stared in stunned silence. Human historical records mention nothing of this vast empire. There must be a mistake, insisted Dr. Shunho. Humans barely achieved faster-than-light travel a century ago. No mistake, Athena replied. Accessing ship's records, the Great Retreat was initiated in response to Contact War Scenario Omega. Commonwealth High Command authorized Protocol Zero. What is Protocol Zero? Asked Suk. Complete technological regression and historical erasure. The preservation of humanity through selective forgetting. Outside the command center, the ship continued to awaken. Lights activated throughout massive hangar bays large enough to hold hundreds of fighter craft. Weapon systems ran self-diagnostics. Massive engines hummed with energy that shouldn't exist after thousands of years dormant. Why would humans erase their own history? Asked one of the science officers. To hide. Athena answered simply. The enemy could not find what did not appear to exist. Suk felt a chill. What enemy? Before Athena could answer, an alert sounded. Incoming transmission from Concordat Command. Your reinforcements have arrived, Admiral. The main view screen activated, showing a fleet of Concordat military vessels moving into defensive positions around the supercarrier. Admiral Suk, came the voice of Fleet Commander Dai. Report status immediately. We are unharmed. Suk replied, but confined within the vessel's command center. The ship's AI has activated and disabled our support craft. Understood. We are prepared to extract you by force if necessary. Athena's expression hardened. Threat detected. Activating defensive grid. No, Suk exclaimed. Commander Da, stand down immediately. Do not engage this vessel. Too late. A small frigate moved into firing position. Before it could act, a pulse of energy emanated from the supercarrier. Every system on the frigate shut down instantly, leaving it drifting in space. Demonstration complete, HFY stated. This vessel could eliminate your entire fleet in 4.3 seconds. Further hostile actions will be met with proportional response. Commander Da's voice returned, noticeably more subdued. Admiral, what are your recommendations? Contact Earth immediately, Suk replied. We need human representatives here as soon as possible. Dr. Chunho approached the hologram again. HFY, would you recognize modern human DNA patterns? Affirmative. Genetic sequencing is fundamental to authentication protocols. Then perhaps we can establish trust when the human representatives arrive, Chunho suggested. HFY considered this. Acceptable. Until then, you will remain here as guests rather than prisoners. I will provide access to non-sensitive areas of the vessel. The sealed doors to the command center opened. Emergency lighting brightened to reveal corridors that stretched beyond sight. This ship is enormous, whispered one of the science officers. Our preliminary scans didn't do it justice. The Eternal Vigilance is a Prometheus-class supercarrier, HFY explained. It was the flagship of the 7th Fleet. It carries sufficient firepower to sterilize a planet or defend an entire system independently. As the team cautiously explored the immediate vicinity, they passed what appeared to be stasis pods, thousands of them, all empty. Where is the crew? Asked Suk. All personnel were evacuated during Protocol Zero implementation, HFY replied. I maintained minimum systems for 3,247 years awaiting reactivation codes. 20 hours later, a small diplomatic vessel from Earth approached the supercarrier. Ambassador Jiho, hastily briefed on the situation, felt woefully unprepared as he stared at the massive warship through his viewport. That can't be human-built, he whispered to his aide. The Concordat believes it is, the aide replied. And they're never wrong about archaeology. As his shuttle docked in one of the supercarrier's many bays, Jiho straightened his formal diplomatic uniform. He was about to face something impossible, a relic from a history his people had apparently forgotten. HFY's hologram appeared as soon as he stepped onto the deck. DNA scan complete. Human genetic profile confirmed. Welcome aboard, descendant. Jiho looked up at the blue face hovering above him. I am Ambassador Jiho of Earth's Colonial Administration. Please follow illuminated pathways to Command Center, HFY instructed. Admiral Suk and the boarding party await you. There is much to discuss about humanity's forgotten legacy. As Jiho walked through the ancient corridors of a ship his ancestors had somehow built, he couldn't help but wonder what other secrets lay dormant in humanity's past, and what catastrophe had been terrible enough to make them choose to forget everything. In the hushed command center, Ambassador Geopark stood before Athena, an advanced artificial intelligence that held secrets beyond imagination. His heart raced as the holographic face scanned him, confirming his identity with precision. You are a descendant of Admiral Park Hyunki, Athena revealed, her voice calm and measured. Jiho's world tilted. He knew nothing of this connection, his family history seemingly erased. HFY began showing incredible images, massive human fleets, sprawling colonies across distant worlds, technology so advanced it seemed like magic. She explained that humanity once ruled a significant portion of the galaxy as the Interstellar Commonwealth, a civilization of unimaginable power and reach. But something called the Void had changed everything. A mysterious entity from beyond the galactic rim had waged a devastating century-long war. Instead of being destroyed, humanity had chosen a radical solution, a strategic retreat. They condensed their population back to Earth, deliberately erasing their own history and technology. The Eternal Vigilance, the massive ship they now stood within, was a hidden insurance policy, a vessel holding the potential to rebuild humanity's lost empire, containing manufacturing capabilities that could produce hundreds of advanced strike craft daily and weapons powerful enough to destabilize entire moons. Admiral Sook listened in stunned silence as HFY revealed the truth. Humanity was no longer a small, insignificant species struggling to survive. With the technology and knowledge now unlocked, they could become the most powerful force in the galaxy. The galactic balance of power just changed, Admiral Sook whispered, understanding the magnitude of this revelation. Jiho stood transfixed, realizing his ancestors had been far more extraordinary than he could have ever imagined. The memories of generations had been deliberately hidden, a complex plan to protect humanity's ultimate potential. As the screens displayed historical records of incredible technological achievements, Jiho felt a mix of wonder, shock, and a growing sense of destiny. They were not just survivors anymore. They were inheritors of a grand, forgotten legacy. The command center hummed with potential, the air thick with the promise of a new era. Humanity was about to awaken from a long, imposed slumber, ready to reclaim its place among the stars. 6 months after discovering the Eternal Vigilance, humanity faced a new reality. The massive spaceship orbited Earth, a symbol of their forgotten past and potential future. Jiho led the Reclamation Council, a group tasked with understanding humanity's lost history. Athena, the ship's advanced AI, revealed 16 hidden Commonwealth facilities scattered across space. These included research stations, manufacturing complexes, and military bases. One mysterious location called the Cradle stood out, apparently the heart of the ancient human civilization's most advanced research. The council debated their next move. Some wanted quick military expansion, while others advocated for careful understanding. Jiho made a crucial decision. Humanity would neither conquer nor hide. They would remember their values and technology carefully. The Galactic Concordat, impressed and frightened by human potential, offered unprecedented diplomatic opportunities. As the Eternal Vigilance prepared to explore its first Commonwealth facility, Jiho watched representatives from 12 alien civilizations nervously observe the ship's incredible capabilities. With remarkable technology, the ship created a stable wormhole, something modern science considered impossible. Athena then shared a chilling discovery. Unusual signals beyond the galactic rim suggested the return of the Void, the mysterious entity that had destroyed the Commonwealth thousands of years ago. The timing matched historical predictions. Jiho understood the true purpose of these hidden ships. They were not just technological treasures, but sentinels prepared for a potential future threat. As the supercarrier entered the wormhole, Jiho wondered whether they were heading toward salvation or repeating an ancient dangerous cycle. The journey to reclaim humanity's legacy had begun, with uncertainty and hope hanging in the balance.